Hi guys, it is Joanna. I am back and I know it has been a hot minute since I last posted a video and I do apologize for that. I have just been super busy with work, personal life stuff, and yeah, that's why. Sorry. You can always find me on Instagram though, and I do actually post Instagram stories there at the very least, if not full regular Instagram posts, so you can go check out what I'm doing if you are curious, but lots of stuff going on right now, so my posting schedule will continue to be a little bit sporadic. Okay, with that out of the way, I also wanted to share actually my little home manicure here. It is officially fall, and so it is time for the dark colors again, and I absolutely love these kind of dark burgundy purple hues for nails, and this is very similar to Linkin Park After Dark, the perennial favorite from OPI, but this is actually a new one called Stick to Your Burgundies, and it is from their Infinite Shine collection. I don't actually notice that it has more shine than regular nail polish. However, again, I'm such a big fan of the Essie Gel Couture nail polishes and the top coat. I just actually put some of that on top of this and I feel like it is super shiny. And yes, if you're curious, I tried to give myself a little creative manicure here and gave myself some silver gray tips. So, okay, that is random, I know, but I just wanted to share that because we are in fall and I feel like it's perfect time for these kind of dark colors, which... Okay, that's it. Now let me get into the actual topic for today, and I actually wanted to talk about sweaters because we are officially in fall. I mean, we've been in fall for a while, but I feel like it finally really feels like fall, and sweater weather is here, and it is my favorite time of year, so let me just get into it. You may have remembered a while ago I posted about Grana's silks, and they actually recently sent me a couple of their knitwear pieces to try out because I am such a big fan of their silks, and I was very pleased for that. I have not tried their knitwear before, so they actually sent me this merino wool like big chunky sweater, and they also sent me a cashmere crew neck sweater, just a very plain, simple cashmere crew neck sweater. So I thought I could talk about wool cashmere and compare to some of the other sweaters that I have, and also just, you know, what you should be looking for when buying a sweater. Before I give a review about these particular pieces from Grana, I wanted to just talk a little bit about the fabric and natural fibers in general. I know that oftentimes we refined women like to look for things that are all natural fiber, and there is a lot that goes into the yarn of any sweater that you're talking about that really contributes to the quality of that garment. So first there is the quality of the raw fiber to consider. So obviously, you know, wool that's shorn from the sheep's belly is going to be a lot softer and probably higher quality than wool that's shorn from the sheep's hindquarters. And, you know, similar for any other animal you're talking about a natural yarn from. Then there is the length of the fiber, so a longer fiber is generally going to give you a more durable, less likely to pill kind of a fabric or yarn versus a shorter fiber. But then it's also the, you know, way that the fiber is processed and also how it is actually spun into yarn. So how tightly is it spun? Like all of these things contribute to the end quality of a garment. So yes, they're both 100%, you know, whatever material you're talking about, but they might not be the same quality. So oftentimes you're going to be able to tell the quality of a, you know, yarn just by feeling it. How soft does it feel? And there is a bit of a catch-22 here because oftentimes the softer the feel of a fabric, it'll actually be more likely to pill, which I know is something that really bothers a lot of us when it comes to sweaters. And that's just because pilling happens when you have shorter fibers, but shorter fibers are also typically what feels softest to the hand. Okay, so that is kind of the, you know, if you're going the 100% all natural route, but actually you also shouldn't just write off synthetic fibers altogether. When it comes to sweaters, oftentimes they will put in a blend, not only because it's cheaper for the yarn ultimately, but also because it can tend to lighten the load. Just comparing like a partially acrylic sweater, for example, to this full wool sweater, you can immediately feel that the one that's going to have a partial synthetic composition is going to be a lot lighter. And so that could be one of the things that, you know, cause a manufacturer to want to use a blend, especially when we're talking about these big, thick, knitty, winter sweaters that are very popular these days. So I wouldn't just write off synthetic fibers, but I also probably would not buy anything that just had over 30% synthetic. Just look at the care label, look at the composition, and make that decision yourself. Now when it comes to care for sweaters, I know all of these labels are going to most likely say dry clean only, but you really don't have to do that. Similar to silks that say dry clean only, the kind of care labels on these are just to help the manufacturer prevent you from going to them and complaining if you happen to ruin your sweater by washing it or drying it. And the truth is you can very easily hand wash these or, put them in the gentle cycle or cold delicate cycle in your washer if you have one of those washers that have a lot of different settings. Definitely nothing that would be too abrasive or harsh. And you also don't want to put this in the dryer because obviously the heat can really affect the natural fibers. If you have an all synthetic sweater, then probably doesn't matter, so whatever, do whatever you want with those. But when it comes to anything that's natural fibers, or at least partially natural fibers, it's okay to hand wash if you have the time, if you don't want to, spend the $5 for the dry cleaning or whatever. Another thing that's really nice about these natural fiber sweaters is that they're naturally sweat wicking and odor reducing. If you just think about it, a sheep is wearing this all year long, so in the wild they're not showering every day, and when it comes to your garments, you actually don't really have to wash them that often. I'm not saying to go months without washing your clothes, but at least for me, I don't sweat a lot, so I guess it depends on that as well, but at least for me in the winter, if I'm not sweating a ton, I can certainly go 3-4 wears without washing a garment. I know that sounds gross to you probably, but it's okay. All those dead skin cells are just for me anyway. Okay, now on to some of the different sweaters, including the ones that I have now from Grana. First, I'll talk about this awesome chunky turtleneck sweater that is 100% merino wool. It is 100% Italian merino wool. And merino wool is kind of like one of the best types of materials there are. So the merino wool comes from the merino sheep, which lives naturally in climates that are both very cold and very warm. And so merino wool, that's why you sometimes will see this being used in sweaters that are generally lighter. I've actually never seen it used before in a sweater that is quite so heavy and thick for winter. I have, for example, here's another merino wool sweater from J. Crew that is definitely more of a spring summer sweater. And the knit is, it's very durable. It doesn't pill at all, hardly. Honestly, this, I've treated very poorly this J. Crew sweater, and it does not pill at all. So it's a great hardy material, and it's great. It keeps you cool and it keeps you warm, depending on the season and the particular way that the sweater is designed. So I am personally big fan of this particular sweater. Again, I've never seen the merino wool being used so much in a giant sweater like this. But I have been wearing this a lot, and I just think it's so soft, so comfortable. Merino wool, again, is one of the softest wools as well, so it is actually very comfortable to wear just directly against the skin. I don't feel itchy. I think it's a great sweater. And at the price point that it's at, which is I think $129 via Grana, I think it's a really good deal. This is not a sweater that I'm going to be, using for one season and tossing away. This is definitely something that I will be wearing a lot. You may also remember from previous videos that I have worn this sweater a ton from last year's winter videos, and this is a very similar styled sweater, so you can obviously see that I enjoy these styles of sweaters. But this one is totally different. It's a much looser knit. As you can see, the material is mostly mohair, so that's why you can see the fuzzy wuzzy everywhere, and it is a partial blend, so it's much lighter in weight than this 100% merino sweater. But yeah, I think these chunky sweaters are really nice. This one is from Kos, or Kos, however you say it. So this, I believe, was $99 retail, and this is $129, but this is a slightly lower quality fabric just because of the synthetics that are in here, whereas this is, full natural fiber. And I don't know, I just think these sweaters are great. So I would highly recommend this particular chunky sweater from Grana. Next, cashmere, cashmere, cashmere. Now cashmere obviously is kind of the luxury end of knitwear. It is what we think of when we think of really luxurious, soft fabric. And it is also not the most practical material because it's about 10 times more expensive than merino and about 10 times less durable. So while it is an awesome material, it's definitely not the end-all be-all for sweaters, and it is something that also comes in a very broad range of quality. I would say for merino, in my experience of it anyway, all merino is generally very long-lasting and very high quality. Whereas with cashmere, I've had some really, really low quality cashmeres and some really, really high quality cashmeres. Most of my cashmere sweaters come from J. Crew, and I have a lot of their featherweight cashmere sweaters. So here is an example of one. This is just a featherweight cashmere cardigan, and here's another one. This one I literally had for over 10 years, and I should probably throw it out because I need to either get elbow patches for it or throw it out. It has totally worn through after all these years of wear. I think the J. Crew featherweight cashmere has come down in quality slightly over the years, but it's still a very nice fabric. And when I compare the J. Crew cashmere to the softest cashmere that I have, which is this Miu Miu sweater, I would have to say that the J. Crew is not that different from the Miu Miu. It still feels really nice, and it is a very high quality cashmere. So I think especially for the J. Crew cashmeres, if you get them on sale, they are a great bargain, and I would say very, very worth it. With the softer Miu Miu sweater, you can see actually, here's an example of what I mean when I say the softer something is, the more likely it is to pill. You can see actually there's more pilling on this sweater, like in the armpits here, than there is on this 10-year-old J. Crew cardigan that is totally, like, well worn. But that is, again, that's one of the trade-offs that you make. So I do love cashmere, but I would say if you're on a budget, either look for it on sale or opt for something that's a little bit more durable and easy to care for, like merino. When it comes to the Grana Cashmere sweater, so here is the Grana one. This is in, I would say, a different league of cashmere than the J. Crew and Miu Miu sweaters that I just showed there. This is a much, I wouldn't say it's thicker necessarily. I mean, it is. This is a thicker cashmere, I would say. This is a thicker cashmere, but you can also tell that it's not as soft. It's definitely a little bit more scratchy, but it's at a very different price point. For this, you know, the retail price is $99, which for a all cashmere sweater like this is pretty affordable. And I have not tried the Everlane cashmere, but I would guess that this is very similar to the Everlane as well. I might pick up an Everlane one just to compare, but you know, if you're looking for just a very simple sweater like this, not a bad option, I would say. I definitely do recommend this Grana Merino Chunky Knit Sweater, though. I think this is an excellent buy, and I'm very happy with it. So thank you, Grana, for sending those to me. Okay guys, that's all I wanted to share. Just a few sweaters from my vast sweater collection, because I do love sweaters. I love this season. I love layering clothing. I love being able to hide my ginormous Thanksgiving belly, and I hope you enjoyed that and learned something maybe, and I will see you guys soon. Yes, soon. Okay, that's it from me. Bye!